Hey guys, I just want to say thanks for commenting on my previous videos, and hope you're enjoying the series so far. Now today I'm going to be talking about episode 4.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon into champions. Digimon into ultimate. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon.
Now this episode begins a part of the saga I like to call the Black Gear Saga.
I guess it's my turn to fill you guys in. First, we have a close call with these twin metal dinosaur-looking creatures. Then, when we were about to crash for the night, wouldn't you know it, we're camped out right on top of a big, wicked serpent thing who goes by the name of Sidramon. That's when things got intense. I got snatched up and Gabumon digivolved into a huge blue wolf called Garurumon. Lucky for me, Sidramon was no match. Whenever we're in danger, our Digimons get bigger and help us. Now that's cool.
Now what happens is they're crossing a desert. They're crossing the desert. They're crossing a forested area, and what happens is they see a black gear overhead.
Oh, hey!
Whoa, did you hear that? It seems to be some sort of aircraft.
It looked like a big flying gear. Admit it, my alien theory is becoming more plausible.
Yeah, they hit us with an anti-gravity ray to make us all crooked.
Just as a quick reference, these objects have the ability to turn perfectly peaceful, nice Digimon into evil Digimon. And then they're crossing another desert, they're crossing a desert after they got past the forested area. TK's character is complaining. He's like, boy, it's so hot, I can feel the heat coming up through my socks. And then Matt's telling him that,
Well, TK, maybe you should put your shoes back on.
Oh, this hot desert air is destroying my complexion. How much further is it?
Is that all you're worried about, Mimi? We'll be lucky if we even survive this hike.
Hey, does anybody besides me see that these telephone poles have no connecting wires?
She's right. I wonder if these actually are telephone poles. Maybe there's some odd alien equivalent. Hey?
he should put his shoes back on. And what happens after that is later on, Tai uses his mini telescope thing, which he uses. Then he spots what he thinks it's a mirage, but it's not actually a mirage. He realizes, and it's real water. Then they're going to the area where their village, because they think they'll find people there, but they don't.
Hold on for just a second, everybody. If I'm seeing what I think I'm seeing...
What is it, Tai?
It's not a mirage. It's real water.
Water?
This is fantastic. Now all we need are some lemon, sugar, and some big fat ice cubes.
That looks like a village. Maybe we'll find people. And shade. Maybe they'll have hats for sale. Hang on. Water and food. I'm hungry enough to eat broccoli.
What's broccoli? Is that a joke?
Great. Let's get out of this desert.
Hey!
From so far away, everything looks so big.
But they're so cute and tiny.
They actually find Yokomons, which are part of Biomon's evolution form. Now that is specifically important in the fact that it is the first time in the series, like in the first series, where they have two Digimon of the same Digivolution status. The next time that'll happen will be in episode 15, and then Biomon's asking the Yokomons if they know where they can get a drink, where they are, and then one of the Yokomons is like, and just what do giant Digimon drink?
Me? I'm no Digimon.
My friend Sora is what's called a human being. Yes, we know they look funny. In spite of this, they are all actually very nice. What's a human being? If you are not Digimon, what are you doing here in Digiworld?
And what happens after that is Joe's complaining again. He's like, this is great. There is no way we're going to fit into this place. And this whole episode is the second last episode of the series where Izzy had that alien theory thing that I explained with his, how shall I say this? With his character bio video that I did. He thinks that Mimi might be an alien spy and stuff.
Thanks, Joe. At least the natives here are friendly.
Oh my, I would just love to take one home and put it on my bed with all my other stuffed animals.
There she goes again. Do you think Mimi hears the same things we hear? I'm not sure anymore.
Maybe she's an alien spy.
And then Padamon's saying that TK's tired and he's hungry. And then Joe's telling him that he's not the only one. Then Biyomon is explaining that she digivolved. She's explaining to the Yokomon that she digivolved when she met Sora.
Come on, just when did you digivolve? When I met Sora, we share a special bond which is magical. You don't talk like us anymore. Is that how all Biyomon talk? No, it's how the big ones talk. I suppose I just picked it up from Sora. She is a wonderful and kind human being, and I've already learned a lot from her. We still don't understand how you digivolved. What is it about being around human beings that makes it happen? Sora needed me. I had to protect her. When
She had to protect me?
Power came flowing through me. I didn't
Wait
know
a
what it
sec,
was.
now I get it. That's why she's always following me
All of a
around.
sudden, I realized I had digivolved.
When Tai needed him, Agumon digivolved to Greymon to protect him, and Garurumon did the same for Matt. They digivolved for us. We're lucky kids.
And then later on, she tells Sora that they're invited to have dinner with the Yokomons. And they said that they'd be willing to share their food with all of us, with all of them and stuff. And then they're all ecstatic about it, and they're wondering what Yokomon eats. And then Izzy's contemplating what they'll be serving, like perhaps a bone with meat, lettuce topped with fish, or also like, or some water. The image of water shows up, and then that's when TK starts running over to a water fountain, and the Yokomon are explaining that the water that they have in their village comes from a spring that's piped in from Mitarashi Mountain.
Oh, the water here is piped in from a spring at Mitarashi Mountain. It's the best water in the world.
Forget the world, Mount Mihirashi water is the best in all the galaxy.
Where's Mount Mihirashi? Out there! Hey, that's a live volcano. Yes, but the heat boils away all the germs.
Then the Digimon that got infected with the black gear, which is Miramon, which is a fire-like Digimon, he starts acting up and causes fire to erupt, and then Izzy's like, if I'm not mistaken, that noise precedes an eruption.
If I'm not mistaken, that noise precedes an eruption.
That's cool, but I still didn't get a drink.
An eruption. And what happens after that is they're wondering what happened. Then the Yokomons are explaining that the water that was in the fountain evaporated.
What is happening?
The water evaporated. That's okay because the lake is always full of water.
I'll check it out. Let's all go. The water's all gone.
Goodness, where did it go? Somebody pulled the plug.
All right, let's not panic. Dry as a bone.
And all of a sudden, this heat of fire pops up. Like it pops up out of the fountain. And then Mimi's like, she's like, look, Ty's doing a little dance for us. Is that supposed to stop the fire or bring down the rain? And then what happens after that is Matt's contemplating about what happened earlier with that black gear. It with the flying gear when it crashed into the mountain top, and the Yokomon are explaining that Izzy was right about that because, well, that was Izzy that explained that the gear crashed into the mountain top. They explain that he's right because
The water comes from a lake on the top of Mount Miyarashi, so a gear crashing into the mountain could affect our water supply.
Mm-hmm.
We don't dare go up there. The mountain is guarded by a fiery Digimon called Meramon. He's hideously dangerous.
I want a closer look at that mountain. You say this character, Meramon, is a fiery Digimon? What does he look like? Never mind, there he is! He's coming! He's coming our way!
He burns up everything he touches. He never comes down off the mountain, though. This is very strange behavior for him.
apparently he never really does that. And what happens after that is he's saying that the burning is too hot, like, and Palmon thinks that's impossible because there's no way he should be in pain from his own flames, and because that's really his nature. And then Tai realizes that Meramon is crying, and Sora's wondering that he might be out of his mind with pain.
It's weird. He's crying.
Burning!
Sounds like he's out of his mind with pain.
What do we do?
Burning! Burning! Burning!
And they're wondering what to do. And then later on, they realize that he's heading straight for the village. And one of the Yokomon is saying that one of the Yokomon is like saying that they better figure out what they're going to do because she hasn't seen him move so fast before. He's already reached the foot of Miyarashi Mountain and was already starting to enter the forest. And what happened after that is Sora, after a long pause scene where Sora is telling them to be still, they unfreeze from where they are and they start running and running and running and running until they get to like a boat in the middle of a desert thing.
Come on, keep it moving!
All the way to the rear.
Okay, settle down. There's room for all of you. Will you please stop squirming?
Here's the next batch, Matt.
Easy now. You'll be okay.
Who's not here?
The Yokos. I'll take care of them.
This is bad.
And what happens after that is she's asking her to come down from the mountain because she can save herself. She can come down while there's still time. But Beelmon's telling Sora that she won't come down until her friends are safe. And then what happens after that is she goes up the mountain itself to get to her. But after the Yokomon are all safe and she's nearly getting her, Meramon shows up. She's telling Beelmon to watch out because he's right behind her. And then when that happens, Meramon uses one of his hands to knock her off the side of the mountain she was on. And she starts rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling down.
Meramon, leave us alone. We're not bothering you.
Theo, I'm coming, Theo.
Then Sora lunges at her to catch her. And then she's like, "Are you okay?" And then Beelmon's like, "Sure. I hope I never do that again. It wasn't very fun. Thank you for coming to rescue me." And then Sora's explaining that she doesn't have to mention it because that's what a friend's for. And then Meramon starts attacking again. And then Beelmon notices it. And then she tells Sora that they're still in danger. And what happens after that is she tries to save herself. She uses that spiral twister attack that I mentioned.
You think you're really hot stuff. Well, you're in big trouble now. Spiral Twister. Ha!
to damage him, like in the chest and stuff. She repeatedly does it, but somehow he manages to become unharmed by it. And what happens after that is the other Digimon start coming to her aid to help because he seems too big to handle. And then Meramon uses his fireball attack, which is a fireball that he throws from his hand to knock Beomon out of the air.
Oh no! She's hit!
And then what happens after that is she's falling and falling, and then Sora's upset by that because she got hit, and then Ty's telling everyone that they can beat him, and then Izzy's saying that all they need is teamwork, and then they start attacking him, and then but their attacks don't seem to phase him, like they just make him bigger.
Come on, everyone! We can beat that monster!
What we need is teamwork.
I'm ready. Give me your best shot.
We need a fire extinguisher.
That made him bigger!
And then he's like, why do I suffer so? And then Ty's saying, if we knew why he was crying, it might help to stop him. And then Izzy makes a little joke. He's like, well, fire's not affecting him. I guess it's not heartburn. And then Matt makes another little joke. He's like, maybe this monster just has growing pains. And then Izzy's like, growing pains? And then Joe's like, Matt, this is not a time to joke. And then Meramon starts jumping, like he jumps off the edge of the cliff he's on and starts going after the others. Then Beomon comes up from where she is. She realizes that the others are in danger. Then she digivolves to her champion form, which is Birdramon.
My friends need my help now! Beomon! Digivolve to...
Which is a big, like, phoenix kind of bird Digimon. And what happens after that... She manages to throw Meramon back onto the cliff that he was on before. And then Sora's claiming that they'll be safe because Beomon digivolved to rescue them. And what happens after that is they start fighting each other.
What's wrong, Birdramon? Afraid of me? Let's fight! Here, have a ball!
Don't turn your back! Birdramon, move away!
Izzy realizes that it was the gear, that it was making him crazy, and then Matt remarks, like, I suppose if you had a big black gear stuck inside of you, you'd act a little crazy too, the poor guy. And then TK's ecstatic, he's like, yay, Beomon did it! And then Birdramon turns back into Beomon, and then she starts flying down to where Sora is. And then Sora's telling herself, wow, every time I'm in danger, Beomon comes to my rescue. That's what I call a friend. And then Beomon is starting to fly. She's starting to fly to where she is. Sora is telling her that she did great, and she can't begin to tell her how proud she is of her. And what happened after that is she's explaining that she wasn't even the least bit afraid. But she wasn't the least bit afraid, and all she could think about was saving her because she because she was her friend. And after that, the fire that was happening over the village and the mountain area stops. And then what happens after that is the Yokomon are asking Miramon why he attacked their village, and he's explaining that he couldn't stop him.
I couldn't stop myself.
That must have been awful for you. If you couldn't control yourself, who was controlling you?
The last thing I remember is being hit by that gear.
Well, we're just happy to see that you're back to normal. I hope nothing like this ever happens again. You're needed to protect Mount Mihirashi. Goodbye, Miramon. May you always stay well.
And then Biomon's explaining that they never got that dinner they promised.
Okay? Hey, I just remembered you never got that dinner we promised you. You must be starving. My tummy's ready for some action.
And then, but when it gets to the scene where they're eating their food, they realize they can't eat it because it's inedible for them, and they don't even know that it's cooked. And after that, there's a small narration scene from Sora where she says, "And so ends my biggest adventure yet with Biyomon. One thing's for certain, for being so little, she sure has a huge heart." And that's basically where the episode stops. So, if you guys like this video, just hit that like button on YouTube, and thanks. And I'll keep uploading new videos every once in a while. Until then, keep it real.